Yo, what's up, MHU? It's your boy Frank Daisy. Know what I'm saying? Made a video before the season, or actually the whole cycle starts for Madden 20. I know it's just a couple days away for that update, but just made a video before the league started, talking about predictions. There's some new faces in the league, but for the most part, we've kept every core owner. Very familiar with everybody. I know their strengths, I guess, and their weaknesses. So I'm just gonna break down who I think is going to win their division in each division. It's a biased list. It's just based on my experiences in MHU. I was here since, I believe, Madden 18 for a couple cycles. Played everybody on this list except one person, but that one person, I've seen how he plays. Seen a lot of gameplay for him. He's been a playoff contender. But anyways, for the AFC North, it's pretty much hands down for this pick, but it's Waffle House. I've played him last cycle, a very tough opponent. It's one of those guys that is always going to be top 2 seed in the AFC, as well as his team is very stacked. Has a great receiving core, a young quarterback, 2 stud running backs, stellar secondary, good defense up front. I think with the aid of his roster and his stick skills, I think he's going to be actually maybe even a Super Bowl pick for me. But for the AFC North, I have Mr. Waffle House of the Browns winning that division. Moving on to the AFC South, we have a Super Bowl winner there in Vols. We have a very good opponent in OMG, D-Mac, and the new face is Will the Beast for the Colts. For the AFC South, even though Vols beat OMG, I think OMG's performance against Taken in both games, actually, in the preseason tournament, he showed a lot of firepower offensively, something which Vols kind of lacks. So just based on what I saw in the preseason, I think OMG is going to come out of that division, and only because I know from what I saw, he could do great things offensively. He torched Taken with D.D. Westbrook, and Taken what the Browns have, like I said, one of the stellar defenses in the league, has a very fast secondary, and it was very impressive. His offensive performance was very impressive. Defense, not so much. But again, for the AFC South, my pick is OMG of the Jaguars. Moving on to the AFC East, there's new faces there as well, but I think, just again based on me playing the guy, I think it's pretty much hands down Butch's division. I've played Retro and Hellraiser. They're very good opponents, but they're not those elite guys. I think they're more of the middle of the pack kind of guys. I think Retro and Hellraiser were the ones that would usually battle it out for that division. I've seen some trades that Butch did in the offseason. He's really improved his defense immensely. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in that division. So for my pick for the AFC East is Butch of the Jets. We go to the last division, which is the AFC West. Another face there in Ashanti, a new face, I should say. I just gotta go with the three-time champ, the bread of the Chiefs. It was a tough decision because I know, like, in the regular season, he really doesn't. I'm not gonna say he really doesn't care, but he kind of like lays off and just kind of coasts through it. Come playoff time is when you see like his best play. So it's really not like a solid pick. I haven't seen how Ashanti plays. I know Max had a good showing in the preseason tournament, but you can never go wrong picking with the guy that has the most trophies in this league. So my pick for the AFC West winner is gonna be Bread of the Chiefs. We move on to the NFC. In the NFC North, there's Devo Jr., I believe Phoenix, and the Man of Wood. I think this division is going to be up for grabs between Devo and Wood. But if I had to pick one, you have to go with the guy that has the best track record, and that is the Man of Wood. He's played in NFC Championship games last cycle like crazy. He's always one of those guys that's up there. I think he has the best rushing attack in the league. I haven't seen him play this Madden, but last Madden and even the Madden before that, the dude always puts up phenomenal rushing stats. Devo's gonna have his hands full trying to stop his rushing attack. Like I said, it's gonna be between them, but my pick for the NFC North is gonna be the Man of Wood of the Vikings. We go to the NFC South, and for me, that one's kind of a no-brainer. Like I said with my pick with the Chiefs, Mickey is the one that really stands out in that division. MCC's kind of new to the cycle, so I haven't really seen a lot of gameplay from him. But, Mickey's a previous Super Bowl champion. Always has a really good defense. The Saints' defense isn't really a slouch either, so he goes from having the Jacksonville Jaguars defense to the Saints. It's really like on par. He has a very good pass rush and really good players in secondary. He's just a good player overall. So for the NFC South, my lock is with Mickey of the Saints. We go to the NFC East. Consists of Coastal, JTG, Chav, and Jaden. My pick, hands down, it's Jaden. I think he's gonna coast through that division. I know Chav has the Cowboys, and their roster is very strong, but I don't see anybody else kind of contending with Jaden to win that division. If anyone, it's gonna be maybe JTG, but Jaden made some good trades that I liked. He has a young defense, and if he gets to keep those players, I think they're gonna last him throughout the whole cycle, and they're very good players as well. So yeah, for the NFC East, my pick is with Jaden Pay of the Giants. And last but not least is the NFC West. This division is stacked in my opinion. Very good rosters, very good players, but I think Sundance of the Rams is going to come up on top in that division. He's a very good player offensively. He's a decent player on defense, but I think the roster itself is going to just elevate his game to another level. Kind of what we saw with Mickey last cycle with the Jaguars. I believe that rosters and just attributes themselves always help in Madden. and the Rams roster is just loaded. I believe Aaron Donald is gonna wreak havoc against anyone in the league. Honestly, Todd Gurley's always been a glitch. Jared Goff, very good quarterback, good receiving weapons. So yeah, I think Sundance is gonna come out on top in that division. So those were my picks in regards to the winners of their respective divisions. I mentioned earlier about, the NFC West being super stacked. And because I mentioned it, I actually have them picked as the group of death of this cycle. Granted, nobody leaves and everybody stays intact. But you have a Super Bowl appearance player in Minden of the Seahawks. Anytime you make a bowl, you're making a statement. It's not easy, especially with the competition in this league. So that just speaks volumes into his play. I personally haven't seen him play much, but like I said, if you make a bowl or even a championship game in this league, you're pretty legit just because of the level of competition in this league. You have Prevail of the Arizona Cardinals, another good player. Really didn't see a lot from him last cycle as far as like making deep playoff pushes, but it's because he was in a tough division as well. He had Alone and OMG in that division, and it's never easy when you have them in that division. But I think Prevail could push for a playoff spot. I think he's as far as opponent, he's a playoff caliber opponent, but roster wise, it's not playoff caliber. So it'll be up to him to make those moves for him to solidify his roster. But if you give him a good roster, I think he'll make the playoffs pretty convincingly. You have Denham of the San Francisco 49ers. He's our current architect. He won the architect award. The dude knows how to make good rosters. I think him and Hotep are probably the best builders as far as rosters goes in this league. So you have a guy that can build good rosters, and also you have a roster that's probably one of the fastest rosters in the league as far as like skill positions. I've always thought he plays really good defense. I think, and I've always said this about him, as soon as he finds his identity on offense and limits his mistakes, I think he can be one of those players that pushes for a playoff spot. And again, the last member of that division is Rams, Sundance. He has a loaded roster, and he's a good player as well. So, yeah, I think the NFC West is the group of death. And just to throw it out there as well, I've mentioned, my picks for the winners. I think it should be fair for me to mention a dark horse. There's a lot of good players in this league. A lot of them you don't see in the playoffs just because of their division, being so stacked. Like I mentioned before, Prevail, for example, he's a playoff caliber opponent, but he was just stuck in tough divisions against like elite players. My dark horse for season 1 will be Vols of the Titans. I think he's kind of underlooked just because he won the bowl in season 5. I think he's a great opponent. I think as far as defense goes, he's top 3 that I've faced. If he gets clicking on offense, he's a very, very difficult guy to stop, and I don't think a lot of guys give him the credit he deserves. It's always, Bread, Butch, Sundance, Waffle House. But I think I can throw Vols in that category. Like I said, play stellar defense, really gritty offense. But yeah, those are my thoughts for this first season. Honestly, don't know if I'm gonna do this every season because it's time consuming. I'm at 15 minutes. But yeah, those are my picks to win their divisions. My pick for the group of death, and my dark horse for season 1 of MHU. Roster updates right around the corner. I know everybody's eager to start. Good luck to everybody that has a team and is going to participate. And may the best man win.